Hello, my name is Miranda, and this is my screencast for Education 150. The first thing I'm going to talk about is criterion reference tests. A criterion-based assessment is designed to judge the quality of a student's work against benchmarks of expected performance in relation to a specific competency or body of knowledge appropriate to the student without the need to compare students. That is, an individual student either has the skills, knowledge, and understandings being assessed or not. Next is a formative assessment. The goal of a formative assessment is to monitor the student's learning, identify their strengths and weaknesses, and to be used as a tool for improvement. A formative assessment generally has a lower point value and only covers one topic. This is an example of a formative assessment. This can be given at the end of a day's lesson. Red light, green light, right. You may ask the students what they learned today, what questions they still have, and what was confusing for them. Next is a summative assessment. The goal of a summative assessment is to evaluate the student's learning at the end of some form of unit or chapter and comparing it against a standard. Summative assessments are higher stakes with higher point value. This assessment is used to summarize learning up to that point. An example of a summative assessment would be a final exam, midterm exam, or final project. Next is triangulation. Triangulation refers to the belief that you cannot judge a child's progress based on only one thing. You must use all 3 points of the triangle, which are standardized tests, formative and summative assessments, and observations. For example, a child may be able to do fractions in class, and you know that he or she knows what they are doing, but still fail the exam because of some test anxiety. The Brigance Reading Assessment. This is the page that the teacher uses while giving the Brigance Reading Assessment. You read the directions to the student while they look at this page. They will read the passage and then tell you the best answer to each question. They must get an 80% to pass and move on to the next level. Records. This is a data book. You may record records of a student's progress in a folder such as this. Showing growth. After a student takes an exam, such as the Brigance, you must record it to show their progress. As you can see, when I tested a student for the Brigance reading comprehension, they tested at a 3rd upper level. After you figure out what level they are at, you must set goals for the student. This is an annual goal for reading or math. You take the level that the student is at and write down what grade or level you would like them to be at with a year's time. You make smaller goals for 4 times a year for what you would like them to accomplish. I have a sample lesson for you to watch that you can use for individualized instruction for students.
Hello, I am here today to teach you how to turn improper fractions or top-heavy fractions into mixed numbers. I'm going to do the first 3, and then I would like you to do the next 3. First, we will start with 7 over 3. Since the top is too heavy, what happens? Correct, it tips over, so we have to do our division. How many times does 3 go into 7? If you need to, you can use your multiplication chart. That's right, 2. Bring down the 6. Is there a remainder? Correct. What do we do next? Good. We bring it to the top, and we do 1/3. So what is our final answer? 2 1/3. Correct. Now,
for my conclusion. I have learned that teaching special education is a very rewarding field, but to work in it, you must love your job because it takes a lot of time, patience, creativity, and a big heart to be able to be successful. I have learned that even though it may take a little extra time for the students to understand the concepts being taught, they will get it, and they are definitely worth that extra time. I have researched to support my conclusion. I have a passage taken from an article that says, "Too often students with learning disabilities are labeled as incapable of learning. Educators make the assumption that learning disability means incompetent and pass these students off without even attempting to teach them. Rather than assuming these students cannot learn, educators should set high goals and have high expectations for students with learning disabilities. Since students with learning disabilities have the ability to learn, and their ability may even be higher than that of their peers, they should be able to strive for goals and succeed with the proper supports." This passage relates back to what I have learned because I am becoming a special education teacher to be that support for the students so they know that someone will never give up on them. Thank you for watching my screencast, and I hope you enjoyed it. The end.